Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the top teams you can run for the King Croaker Dream On boss this week. We're going to lead it off with the most free to play team out there. It is a team for Frosty and Rainies. Pink turn on the right, blue turn on the left, Pharamore and Shmira on the Stellar Bond, Thorn Swirl acting Shmira, and then Smokey in front of Pharamore with the Star Bless spell. We're going to have of course purple charms on the entire team. Try to refine the charms onto Pharamore and Shmira, who are going to be the big two for the King Croaker Dream On boss this week. Now the interesting news is Nazric is actually doing pretty well on the VN server for King Croaker, not in the top team. The top team on VN server, just like the top team on global server, is going to be with Alicet, because Alicet is actually doing very well in Dream Realm content and making it her way into the top team for multiple bosses. So we're going to have our eyes on Alicet, because she may be actually the next meta hero to be building on your account. But of course, don't do that yet. We have to wait and see. Plenty of more testing to happen in Phase 2, but probably we can come to a conclusion towards the mid to end of Phase 2. Because the interesting thing about Phase 2 of Dream Realm is we're going to have both pre-endless as well as moving into endless meta, so we'll be able to see an example of both of that. Okay, so Smokey obviously is not on the best team, but he's a fine option for those players who don't have, for example, Velara on their account, or maybe really low ascension Velara, because Smokey still will heal the team. He'll provide the attack buff, the haste buff. Smokey traditionally has always been good for King Croaker for that reason. And I mean, we're not getting a terrible score. 85.5 billion damage is definitely not anything too terrible, but obviously will not compete with the top teams of this week. Okay, next up is a team from Hiroku, which is almost the same. It will be pink turn on the right, blue turn on the left, Pharamore buffing up Shmira on the Stellar Bond, Thorn in front of Shmira, but now you can have Velara in the back right corner rather than Smokey, and that is obviously going to be better. Velara is just going to provide more attack buff to your team, and then also debuffing the enemy. With the Star Bless spell, we're going to have charms on everyone. Try to refine the charms of Velara as well. Pharamore, Shmira, and Velara are all going to be key priorities to refine charms of for this team. Okay, 90.3 billion damage. Not bad again, but again, it is not going to be competing for the top ranks with these teams, but these are going to be the most free-to-play friendly options and basically the no Rainier team options. Okay, now we have the Rainier teams, and you'll want to have Rainier at Mythic Plus. So we have a team from Fox, which was one of the best teams in the previous week, and it still is one of the best teams in this week. Basically, for the majority of players, this is probably going to be your top team. Blue turn on the right, pink turn on the left, only Shmira on the Stellar Bond, Rainier in front of Shmira, Thorn Swirl acting Rainier, Pharamore in the back left corner to buff up Shmira. With the Star Bless spell, make sure you have charms on everyone. Get your Shmira and Pharamore charms refined, and let's go ahead and run this. So this team is pretty consistent. It is using heroes which a lot of people would have built up, and if you have Rainier, then you're good to go with this team, and it is very solid. 104 billion damage again is a very good score. It's a very competitive score, a competitive team, and like I said, for the majority of players, this is going to be the top team you can run. It's consistent, it doesn't have terrible RNG, so this is going to be a good option. However, if you want to go for those higher scores, there is a new team from Frosty, which still doesn't have Alicet, so it's still not maybe very pay to win, but it is a bit pay to win because it has a new artifact, Phalanxrush, which is only available for people who have purchased an Asperia monthly pass, and so obviously this is a pay to win team. Technically. So Thorn Swirl back to Rainier, you have blue turn on the right, pink turn on the left. You have Pharamore and Shmira on the Stellar Bond, Pharamore buffing up Shmira. Charms on everyone, try to get Pharamore and Shmira charms refined. Those are the big two. And Phalanxrush. So the interesting thing about Phalanxrush is when Rainier positions herself Shmira, she's going to become in melee range of the boss. And Phalanxrush is going to be a melee-oriented artifact, but you're going to see we keep proccing it, and that is because Shmira's damage is considered melee when she is in melee range to the boss. So the damage basically is going to be counted as melee or ranged, just depending on the number of tiles between the target and your damage dealer. And if the difference is only one tile like it is here, then it will be considered melee damage. Just like how, if you guys remember, like Blade Summon artifact in the previous season and Elder Bow was ranged and Blade Summon was using those Rainier teams even with Shmira because she is technically in melee damage range. So this team is going to be RNG heavy. So if you're going to run this team, you have to be prepared to do multiple runs to try and to eliminate the RNG. But if things go well for you, it will be slightly better than the Fox team. However, not by much. Look at this, 105 billion, and we hit the good RNG. 105 billion is the good RNG. for this team. So it's only like a 1 billion to 1.5 billion score increase if you run the this Frosty team with the Phalanxrush pay to win artifact compared to Fox's team. So that's why I said for majority of players, you're just going to run Fox's. Also, Fox's is consistent. Frosty has RNG. But now we have the top team, the new top team of this week, which is from Tuxedo Cat. This is going up to 109 billion damage, showing you that Alicent is not playing around. And I actually have now crowned Alicent. I took her to Paragon 4 because after seeing Mihira and kind of being disappointed in just how good Mihira is, obviously we don't have her on official global release, but I think it's pretty likely that Mihira is just going to remain similar to what she currently is. I was like, okay, I'm going all in on Alicent. Alicent also is really dominating in Dream Realm. Now again, do not commit to Alicent yet. We need to see more testing for both pre-endless and endless. We're going to see that in phase 2, but then I will definitely make a video or a couple of videos talking about should you build Alicent or not. So pink turn on the right, blue turn on the left, Shmira on the Stellar Bond, Rainier in front of Shmira, Thorn Soul Pacting Rainier, Alicent in the back left corner to buff up Shmira with the Star Bless spell. So Star Bless spell, and you're going to just have charms on everyone, refine the charms on Alicent and Shmira. This team is a top team of this week. We can just watch a bit of it play out in action. So Alicent, why is she so good? She increases the penetration of the hero that she buffs up with by 50, which increases basically their damage and causes it to cut through the defenses of the boss target. The other thing is Alicent herself deals really high damage, especially when she can cast her ultimate, which is going to get more stacks over the course of the match. So Alicent is actually really good for Dream Realm, and also then she has that HP loss damage element, which right now is not going to be coming into play, but when we make it to endless bosses, that is how Alicent is also going to be meta for endless bosses. So like that's why she's like a kind of a hybrid, both pre-endless and then also endless, because of the fact that she has just high raw damage, and then she also has some HP loss damage in her kit, and most importantly, she has buffs to buff up your other hyper carry in terms of the damage output and all the bright feathers. Like, you know, they keep firing damage off onto the target as well. So that's why Alicent is doing really well in Dream Realm. And in VN server, Alicent is in the top team as well. So, yeah, it's just funny because my viewer on the VN server, he somehow always makes the smartest investment decisions, even before anyone kind of knows that they are that. He invested into Harok basically on day 1, or like early days of Harok, before I was really decided that Harok was the best. And he invested into Alicent in first few days of her launch after her release. And at that point, I did not think that she was going to be meta. But she is. So 109 billion damage, that is basically the top score you can achieve with this team. We're still in the rank 2 position, which just shows you that my guild leader is just absolutely insane. He is also 109 billion damage, but he's like somehow just barely higher. We could do a couple of runs to try and claim the rank 1 position, but it doesn't really matter. This just shows you the score gap between Alicent versus non-Alicent teams. It is going to be around a 4 billion damage score difference, which is again not game changing, but it is nice. So like, I mean, if you had Alicent even as Supreme Plus, it's probably going to give you a score boost compared to the other teams. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this one. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. If there's any other team that worked for you or positioning, please feel free to share that in the comment section down below. Good luck getting a top rank today. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There is a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There's a link to that in the description of this video in a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.